So I'm live. For a long time I felt like today doing a live video because today is a full moon in Libra. It's like Easter and Ostara, bank holiday, and the ones who know me, I love runes readings, oracle and sacred symbols, goddesses, and everything to do with weaving, conscious weaving. It all started with me weaving my ruchnik. It's a destiny towel with my unique sacred symbols. Then it continued with my shamanic dress, you see in the background, after I received a Slavic soul tree horoscope readings, where I received my 7 main goddesses energies that I then embroidered in my shamanic dress. And I just love everything about sacred embroidery, which is so magical and invites us to really take our destiny into our own hands. And it's even stronger if we know, for example, our birth runes. Like I'm now giving birth runes readings after I've been teaching, learning from my teacher Martin Rose for many months now, how we are woven in the universe to our unique birth runes. Yeah, and also the soul tree horoscope, like I mentioned, with the 7 main goddesses called Bereginis in Russian, that I also embroidered in my shamanic dress. They are 3 standing for our roots, our main goddess energy, which for me is the raven, the wise one, and the 3 energies which bring us forward, which give us wings. And next month, on the 11th of May, the Jupiter enters the Aries, and that's where I feel like manifesting some of my ideas, which are all have got to do about co-creation and conscious weaving of our destiny. And I plan to have like a membership via my Wyrding Way teachable site, where I will invite you to come to weave together with me in co-creation. Like, for example, like a womb pouch like this one, where I've got the 27 main Beregini symbols, or like the sun rune, which enters every 2 weeks, a different rune sign. And I like to do then like sacred inner wear circles, and also give like this in-depth birth runes reports and soul tree horoscope reports, where you can find out your own unique symbols and then start to magically weave with me. So look out next month, where I want to proactively invite you to come to co-creatively weave with me. So now on this powerful moon Libra, and over Easter, which is known in Christianity as the death of Christ, yesterday's Good Friday, and then of resurrection, I actually like to read about Ostara, the goddess Ostara from old Germanic pagan tradition. So who is Ostara? What we know from myth, history and inspiration. Ostara or Östre or Istra is the Germanic goddess of spring and dawn. She is only mentioned once in scholarly writings of the period. Bede the monk states that during Istromonaf, the old Anglo-Saxon name for April, the pagan Anglo-Saxons held festival in her honor. 200 years later in Germany, in his Life of Charlemagne, a monk named Einhard gives the old name for April as Ostara month. She is also mentioned in a number of inspirations in Germany, and the modern holiday of Easter, originally the name for the spring equinox, but later subsumed to the Paschal calendar for the Christian resurrection holiday, is named for her. The name Eostre, Old Germanic Ostara, is related to that of Eos, the Greek goddess of dawn, and both can be traced back to a Proto-Indo-European goddess of dawn. Her material is so scant that some scholars have speculated that she was not a goddess at all, but simply an invention of Bede. But it is unlikely that someone as heathen-phobic as Bede would have gone about inventing goddesses. He seems to have preferred to keep all things pagan at arm's length. Some scholars have also decided, rather randomly and on scant information, that Ostara is a form of Freya. Others believe that she is actually Iduna or Walburga. Some modern heathens and Norse pagans have experienced personal gnosis of Ostara Eostre being a Vanir goddess, or at least very close to the Vanir, which is why we list her in this section. But again, there is no evidence, and Ostara's origins continue to remain a mystery. Her true mystery, however, is evident every year. She is the first warm spring winds, the birds that return, the trees that bud and curl forth leaves and flowers. She is the awakening earth, rabbits and hares, the eggs that appear after a winter of no light. City folk may not know that chickens who are kept in natural lighting quit laying in the winter when the days are short and begin again as the days lengthen. March, April is the peak time of year, and those eggs were a valued and welcome protein source for our winter-starved ancestors. Ostara's legacy is all those colored eggs which many of us still hang on trees every year. Jacob Grimm, in his Teutonic mythology, maintained that Ostara, Eostre, was goddess of the growing light of spring. Holy water in the form of the dew, or water collected from brooks, was gathered at this time. Washing with it was said to restore youth. Beautiful maidens in sheer white were said to seen frolicking in the countryside. Also, according to Grimm, the white maiden of Esterode was said to appear with a large batch of keys at her belt and stride to the brook to collect water on Easter morning. Ostara is usually experienced as a young maiden, as ember cook writes, and enough to bear children, but not a mother. She is wreathed in flowers or new greenery and often dances. She is often joyous, but can just as easily turn suddenly solemn, like the spring weather that can quickly turn to rain. Like spring itself, she is capricious, innocent, and knowing by turns. So hail to the maiden of spring, the dawning of the year. Bring freshness into all our lives. I really like this very natural observation of those times, of those spring times. I am a spring girl myself. I had birthday last week on Monday, on the 4th of the 4th. And I think just simply by observing springtime, yeah, where all the flowers start to appear, this is the very promising renewal and resurrection, simply based on nature. And I think that preludes all religions, like Christianity then turned this festival into the hail bringer of Jesus Christ, who died on the cross and then resurrected. I prefer the natural observations of the nature, where the spring, where the buds which laid underneath the ground start to leave leave the earth and come to the surface, and everything comes to light. And yeah, and also I didn't know this fact about the where the egg symbology comes from. Like this, I learned it from this text for the first time, that the chickens, they don't lay eggs during the winter time, and only when the light shines on them they start to bring eggs, which also are so symbolic for new life, for rebirth. And one of my other great teachers, Wolf-Dieter Stoll, das ist in German the book, die alte Göttin und ihre Pflanzen, the old goddess and her plants. He also refers to Ostara, which predates all Christian festivals, and still until today is actually not really known by anthropologists why it's the rabbit who brings the eggs over this holy Easter Ostara time. But he also alludes to the rabbits to be very fertile, and it's also around springtime when they mate and bring a lot of life. So Hebrew that this is the explanation for that. So with this video today I like to remember our roots, our ancestral roots, which are all based around natural cycles. And so hail the spring and hail Ostara, which brings so much hope and rebirth. And also for next week, since I love oracles, runes and sacred symbols, I've drawn from the shamanic oracle card, the lightning card, and the Rune Kenaz. And the symbol of the supporter, which is from the 9th circle in Slavic mythology, like I mentioned to you, based on a very old moon and sun calendar. There are 9 circles, which are also divided in 3 worlds. In the Naf world, which is our ancestral roots, in the Yath world, which is the Middle Earth, and the PRAV world, which is the divine world. And this supporter energy, which looks also like a flower or tree, it's from the 9th circle, which relates to Mother Earth. Is the last circle, is the most mature circle, and she's from the divine Earth world. And I think that's so perfect for the Ostara energies. And she brings growth and development. Her affirmation is, I allow growth and development. And she supports all new developments, projects, ideas, experiences, so that they manifest without any difficulties. And I just love the synchronicities. There are no coincidences, since everything in an animistic world is interrelated. Like it's also the Kenaz, which stands for inspiration, for enlightenment, for bringing light also after diseases or projects which lay dormant. Kenaz ignites, like with a lightning crack, all our projects and blesses it into fruition. Kenaz is also my in the birth runic astrology. It's my north node. The north node stands for the fulfillment of our destiny, whilst the south node stands for our karma, ancestral karma, which we have to work through. And the north node is for our co-creative weaving of destiny. when we stay on our path. So if you're interested to receive a very in-depth birth report from me, get in touch. Also a soul tree horoscope reading. And look out in May when I want to open like a community-based co-creative stitching together, weaving circle. And with this lightning Kenaz inspiration and the supporter of growth and development energy that relates to spring and Ostara, I'm sending you many full moon in Libra blessings and Easter or Ostara blessings. May the natural rebirth also bless you and all your loved ones. Blagadaru, many blessings. Bye.